Hey, and welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson, and today we have a treat, and as always, it's called an Infiniti. Now, the Infiniti is a very fond vehicle of mine, and I love every offering they have. Now, this particular one is the 2014 QX70. Now, when you look at the exterior of the Infiniti QX70, the first thing that may come to mind is the shape of a tennis shoe, as it does have a fairly long front hood and a bubbled kind of rear end. But by the numbers, this vehicle is going to measure in about 191 inches with a 113-inch wheelbase. Now, the best part about that is the wheels are pushed to the corners. Now, that's, of course, going to smooth out the bumps, and really found it hard to find any road harshness. And, of course, this is an Infiniti, so it really does take luxury to the next level. Now, looking at the color on this vehicle, it kind of reminds me of a Jaguar we tested back, and that was for Caviar. It kind of has a slight purplish tint and black at other times. Now, on the front of this Infiniti, again, it holds those Infiniti true styling lines with this curvaceous hood. Now, without that, of course, you'd almost look like a redheaded stepchild in the family. Now, looking at the front end, we've got a little bit of chrome, of course, that stage presence we always talk about, but it really gives a dynamic, and it kind of blends, of course, the luxuries of a sedan combined with the luxuries of a crossover SUV. Now, when we look at the profile of the QX70, again, it has that classic Infiniti styling lines, and even, of course, looks like the FX series that really has that bubbled facade. Now, this one, again, has that huge front deck lid, the nice sweeping lines from front to back, giving that aerodynamic quality. And again, the overall height is really kept low, so it's not a massive offering in this SUV segment. Now, some styling cues that I love is this kind of porthole design. Some other models we've seen on other vehicles are getting rid of this type of styling. Here, of course, they really wanted to blazon it with the chrome type look. Now, this vehicle is sitting on 20-inch wheels, and it also comes in rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models as well. Now, this vehicle has a lot of intelligent systems, and you're going to find most of those, of course, when you get in the vehicle and get behind the wheel. But one of the best features on this vehicle is the smart key system. Now, we've seen this on a lot of vehicles, and of course, rids this vehicle of the traditional key and allows you to keep the key fob in your pocket for a more hands-free approach to this vehicle. Now, the styling cues in this vehicle really all kind of transcend here on the back end with that kind of traditional curvaceous look on this vehicle. Now, to get access to the cargo area, it's a real one-touch button. The rear hatch will rise to the occasion, giving you access to this very modest kind of cargo space, around about 24 cubic feet. Now, by the numbers, this vehicle is not going to go much bigger than a mid-size sedan, and it's going to fall short of a full-size SUV. So you get the trappings of best of both worlds. Now, once you get back here, the best aspect I love is this built-in tonneau cover. Allows you to get some kind of security back here. People can't really look in and see what you got. And even better, underneath the rear cargo floor is a full-size spare. Now, when you climb behind the wheel of the QX70, one area that you don't want to be anemic, and that is under the hood, and of course you want to have that spirit off the line. Now, this vehicle comes equipped with the 3.7-liter V6 engine, and that's around about 325 horses and 267 foot-pounds of torque. Now, that's the model we tested, and we found the spunk to really be there. And of course, if you really want more, that is the 5.0-liter V8 engine. Now, that's going to deliver 390 horses and 369 foot-pounds of torque. And of course, that is only available on the all-wheel drive version. Now, I'm a big fan of all-wheel drive, of course, giving you that grip at the corners. But one drawback, of course, is you lose a little bit on fuel economy. Now, by those numbers, the base engine is going to be around about 17 to 24 miles per gallon, with the full-size offering getting a lot less at 14 to 20 miles per gallon. Now, we hinted at the intelligent systems on this vehicle, and they're really all going to come together right behind the wheel on this vehicle. Now, once you climb inside, you're going to notice the buttons all around you, and of course the huge LCD screen right on the dash. Now, the best thing about that screen is it houses all the information you're going to need on this vehicle, and it does work with the touch screen or the corresponding buttons. Now, Infiniti has always tried to be at the forefront of technology, and they continue that here on the QX70. And one of the best features is the surround view on this vehicle. And what that does is incorporates cameras around the vehicle. When you put it in reverse, they just activate and literally give you a 360 view. It also couples with the backup camera, allowing you to see everything without having to really strain your neck or any of those blind spots you traditionally may not see. Now, another nice innovation on this vehicle, and we've seen it on a lot of them, is the adaptive cruise control. Now, of course, that works with the radar-like system of this vehicle and pretty much set the cruise while you're in traffic, and it will, of course, adapt your speed if traffic slows. And I really found it to be helpful because in a lot of occasions when vehicles darted in front of me, the vehicle automatically slowed down, gave me that safety spacing, and it's a nice feature, of course, to have on a vehicle like this. Now, another safety feature on this vehicle is the lane departure system. Now, we've seen these on a lot of vehicles, and they use different kind of warning systems to kind of get your attention should you kind of depart. Now, on this vehicle, one thing we've noticed is it automatically activates anytime you turn the vehicle on, and it uses an audible alarm to warn you should you go left or right of your lane. Now, the only kind of annoying part about this, if you really straddle that line any occasion or even switch lanes, you're going to hear an audible noise. Now, we traditionally turn this safety feature off, but we had to manually do it every time we started the vehicle. It would be better if this vehicle would allow you to keep that system off and of course turn it on when you need it. Now, one last aspect we loved about this vehicle was the fuel tank. Now, that may sound odd, but on this mid-size vehicle, it came with a full-size offering when it came to fuel. Now, more specifically, it had about 23 gallons of space, giving us about a 500-mile range on this vehicle. Now, it really came in handy with the festivals and the concerts we took in the eastern part of North Carolina. Now, again, we tested out the 2014 QX70, and now we've been behind the wheel of many Infinitis, and we've not really found a fault with any of them. Now, what's great about this vehicle, again, it has modest offerings. It's going to fall short of a full-size SUV, a little bit bigger than a mid-size sedan, so it's giving you all the trappings of both, but again, in that kind of sport Infiniti exterior. Now, again, I'd like to thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. As always, keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.